Sarah figured out that by switching to Metro PCS, she gets 2 free smartphones.
Your barbecue ribs are the best.
Take the rest home with you, Sarah.
Just like she figured out that by visiting her in-laws, she doesn't have to cook for the rest of the week. You too figure it out. Get 2 free 4G LTE smartphones from top brands like Samsung and LG after instant rebate when you switch. Metro PCS. Wireless. Figure it out. Coverage not available in some areas. Sales tax not included. See store or metropcs.com for details and terms and conditions.
Hi, I'm Stunning Stella Cheeks.
And I'm the Enigma Erin Klein.
And this is Not Your Demographic, a feminist wrestling podcast.
Shockingly, those exist.
I always start, and so I just wanted to see what would happen if I didn't start.
We just both presentationally leaned into our mics and made like extended eye contact.
You were like very confused.
Yep,
I was just in a not great mood, so I just wanted to make me laugh.
Well, it worked. Good job.
How are you?
I'm pretty good. Thanks, pretty good. Had a good weekend, I guess.
Under wraps?
I don't know.
Okay, let's just move on.
Yeah, we'll just move on.
Erin had a secretly good weekend.
Yeah, I had a good weekend. Weird. I had a weird weekend.
It's funny that you're like, I almost had an orgy with all these people, but you're like, I have to keep, but it's good. Like, you should keep part of your life private. But it was just, it's just funny that you're like, I'm going to sleep with all these strangers in this mirrored bedroom. I have secrets too, though.
Yeah,
like,
I do have secrets.
The audience is probably like, what are her secrets?
You would be horrified, I'm sure. But one of our really good friends got engaged this weekend.
Yeah, Emily Pizzazz.
Pizzazz is getting married.
I'm so excited.
I'm really excited too. I'm happy. They seem very happy. I'm really glad. I think Emily's probably gonna take a long time, and
good.
I think she'll probably have like a 2-year engagement. I think that's right for them. So I'm really excited. I think it's gonna be fun. I'm excited to see what it's like.
I hope she lets me plan it. Or lets me help plan it. I obviously don't want to plan the whole thing, but I want to be involved.
Mm-hmm. I know that when I'm planning a wedding, if you look over my list of things that I need to think about and see if there are things that I need to add to it.
Cryptic.
Yeah, so good. My week was really good. I'm going to Colorado this weekend. I'm super excited about that. That's going to be fun. I'm going to go hiking into the literal mountains. And
just don't do so much drugs that you fall off a cliff.
I will not fall off of a cliff. I'm going to be at a hot spring. So
we have a friend of a friend who went camping with his friends, and then they woke up and they were like, where's X? I don't remember his name. And he fell off a cliff.
One of my ex-boyfriend from high school, his brother recently fell off of a cliff in Alaska and died, actually. So I also...
Beware cliffs.
Exactly, I know. We're hiking into a canyon in the mountains to go to a hot spring.
You ever see that movie, Dante's Peak?
No.
Be careful of hot springs, because if a volcano goes off, then you're going to get boiled alive in that hot spring.
That's true.
That's what I learned in Dante's Peak. Thanks, Chris Brosnan.
Pretty confident that's not going to happen this exact weekend that I'm going to be there, but I will keep that in mind.
Yeah. If it seems like it smells like sulfur, really bad, get out.
That's true. Rotten eggs of any kind, I'm kind of like, I don't really want to hang out here or get into this, so I think it should be okay. I'm mostly excited to just eat a bunch of pot brownies in the mountains. It's going to be super fun. We also will have to record on a different day next week.
Okay, whatever.
I am going to assume my plane's going to be late getting in, because that's what always happens.
Okay.
How
or I'll just do a solo episode.
Yeah, you could have a guest host maybe.
Who?
I don't know. Called DEO, and you guys can just talk about Lana for the whole episode.
We'll do our Lana roast. I'm sure there will be plenty to talk about in the upcoming week.
Yes, I'm sure.
My week is fine. I feel like my weeks are just always mixed, because even if I'm having a really good week personally, my job makes me want to I don't know, take a super soaker full of Kool-Aid and take it into my office and just shoot everybody in the eyes. It would be painful for them, but like it wouldn't kill them.
What a specific desire.
I was just trying to think of something to say that wasn't like triggering or was also not like I want to murder these people.
Right, don't murder anybody, please.
But just something to shock them and cause them great uncomfort.
You know what? My favorite thing I've heard of that same kind of vein, taking a loaf of bread and hitting someone in the face with it.
That's hilarious.
Right? And it like they'd be so mad and it would hurt just enough, but like you wouldn't like break someone's
how do you
nose.
react if somebody just smacks you in the face with a loaf of bread? That's so funny. The image of that is hilarious. Mm-hmm. I'm just gonna come up with like a list of like non-lethal or like, I mean, technically they're still all assaults, but like if the cops got called and you were like, she hit me in the face with a loaf of bread, like what would the cops do?
Laugh,
they would be like,
probably.
this is funny. I have a friend who's a lawyer, and I have a very short list. There's only 2 people on this list that if I see them in public, I've allowed myself to throw a drink in their face. Because that's pretty minimal, right? Like, it's not slapping somebody. But I did ask my friend who's a lawyer, I was like, so technically, can I get in trouble for this? And he was like, technically it is assault, but you'll probably be fine. Yeah. And I was like, excellent. That feels like a green light.
You know what you do in that situation?
I tripped.
You get a glass of water from the bartender, because then you don't ruin their clothes. Because if they're wearing something expensive and you ruin it, then you can get like held liable for that. But if you throw a glass of water at somebody, that will never damage someone's clothes. That's not true. It will damage some kinds of clothes, but
yeah, they're wearing like silk.
Right. Well, fuck that
these
person.
Trash people are not going to be wearing silk.
Exactly.
So.
All right, that's fair.
And if one of them went to the cops, I would be like, the reason I did that is because like 5 years ago, this chump stole my computer.
That's
so I feel like we're all good here.
Who's the other person?
Juicy Lucy.
Really?
Fuck yeah, fuck that bitch.
I don't know about that disillusion of all of that. I mean, I know that she stayed with that terrible company, so yeah. We'll talk about that when we
I don't care.
pause.
I hope she listens to this. If I see her in public and I have a drink in my hand, I'm gonna throw it in her face. That's not totally true. I did see her in public once, and I thought I was over the whole situation. And then I was at the movie theaters, and I saw somebody new. I was like about to say hi, and then I saw her next to it, and I just got filled with like a blinding hot rage, and I just like was like, I have to leave this space right now.
Oh my
before
God.
I black out and accidentally murder somebody. Oof. This is taking a weird turn.
Yeah.
Super soakers full of Kool-Aid. Whatever. I'm doing good.
Yeah, good.
Other than coming up with weird ways to not really assault, but assault people. Right. What wrestling shirt are you wearing?
I'm wearing my Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens Fight Forever shirt. It's
cool. It looks like an old concert poster.
Yeah, that's why I liked it. This was part of my BOGO that I got.
Kevin Owens looks like Bobby Roode right there.
Yeah, he does. You're right. He totally looks like Bobby Roode.
That's weird.
That's super weird. Yeah, all the shirts that I got were all vintage cuts, and this is small.
That's giant.
I'm fucking swimming in these shirts, and I really like them, but like I can't wear these with shorts basically because it looks like I'm not wearing pants.
Or just like commit to that being a look.
That's what I told you earlier. That's what I look like in the gym. My tank tops are all long enough that like you can just kind of not see my shorts. Right? Mm-hmm. That's what I want is people to think that I want them to approach me.
Yep. That's your whole like thing. That's your gimmick, right?
Exactly right. Very approachable. You can always do that.
I am not wearing a wrestling shirt now, but I was wearing a wrestling shirt earlier when I was on Cage Side Live. I was wearing my Joey Ryan Make the Crowd Pop shirt. So
nice. How was that? How did
it was good. I wore that shirt because I was like, oh, I'll like be on camera, and so then I'll be like wearing an indie shirt, and I'll look like so fucking cool, and you couldn't even see it. That's what I get for trying to be like a smart ass.
Yeah, you need to wear your Brie headbands because then it's right there, all up in your face.
Yeah, remote for life. What did you ask me?
I don't remember.
Oh, how the podcast went.
Oh yes.
It was good. We got sidetracked a lot.
unsurprised by this.
And then I cut out at the very end,
Oh.
and then I was like kind of talking to myself, and then I was like, hello? So either people heard Gino being like, hey, Stella, 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 or heard me talking about book club and then realizing that nobody was on the end. So either way, but it was right at the end.
All right. Well, that's fine.
Yeah, it was fine. If you want to listen, you can go listen at Cage Side Live on iTunes.
Yes.
I just like accidentally crushed your leg with my foot.
Yeah, you did.
It creeped me out a little bit.
Well,
Even though I would be the creeper in that situation.
that's true.
Speaking of creeps, want to get into news?
Yeah.
Weird segue. News. Oh man, this podcast is mostly you just reacting to the things that I say,
That's true.
and then everyone's like, "Oh my god, her snore."
You were the first one to snort in this episode today, so
Yeah,
suck
but I
it.
think people like your snort more than they like my snort.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm the zany sidekick. You're the podcast witch. I don't know how many times we have to go over this.
That's fair. Eva Marie has a clothing line.
Yes, she does.
This is what I discovered this weekend.
Yeah, I got a text message about it.
I was just trolling the Instagrams, which is what I do a lot because I'm bored all of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I was on somebody's, not Eva Marie's, and then whose was I on? I was on Emma's, and Emma's was with like a friend who was tagged, and I didn't know who she was, so I clicked on it, and then it was like, oh, she's a makeup artist, and then she had pictures of all the makeup that she's done, and one of them was a shoot for Eva Marie for a clothing line. That's how I found it.
Weird.
Interneting.
Weird.
So it's basically just like sexy, cottony.
Is it cotton? Is that what it is?
Festival-y, cheap, trashy dresses?
Yeah, it's like Coachella is what it reminds me of.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's
But like with like a little bit of like a
Gathering of the Juggalos.
no, I don't think it's Juggalo. I'm trying to think. It's like that, but with like a little bit more of like a Charlotte Russe bent.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It looks.
There's one dress I like.
The word we are not using is trashy, and
I said trashy like 30 seconds ago.
Oh, okay. Like it's. I don't
But
know
like
that-
she looks good in it because she's like in perfect shape and she's like really
Right.
pretty and she has her makeup done.
and like
but,
it's her colors too. Like
it's like army colors.
yeah, like that. Like olive green works really well with her skin and with her eyes, and like I can't imagine someone else wearing any of that. Really, like literally any of it.
I would look dope in that army dress. That's like the like
With the
olive one
zip?
with the like zip up.
Yeah, you would look good in that dress.
Yeah, I want that dress. But do I want to give Eva Marie money?
No.
Also, if you go to Eva Marie's website, she has a shop that has Eva Marie shirts that don't say Eva Marie on it. But because she can't, because of the
Yeah.
WWE trademark. One says, there's one of her catchphrases from Total Deeps, Totes Deeps.
Totes Steves.
Anyways, if you're dying for some Red Menace merch, just go to Eva Marie, EvaNatalieMarie.com. That's what her clothing line is called. It's called NEM, so Natalie
Nem.
Eva Marie. Nem.
Yeah, the only piece of clothing that I liked was the unitard swimsuit. I don't know. I literally couldn't
It's
tell.
like a bodysuit. Bodysuits are really hot.
Yeah, but it's very high cut it's almost non-existent in the back, and then there's like a 2-inch strip of fabric, and then it's like a thong in the back, which you can't really see in those photos, and I was like,
Thong.
I'm not comfortable working out in that.
Yeah, it's not made to work out, Erin.
Well, some of those are. Those like the Ivy Park bodysuits are made to be
Yeah,
worn
but
in
like
that.
Eva Marie's is like, I'm going to wear this
know.
bodysuit with like booty shorts, and then I'm going to go to a music festival and like dance around.
True. That's true.
Even though I don't think Eva Marie actually has any fun.
Yeah, probably not.
Ryback got released.
That's true, he did.
Bye, boo bitch, bye. Ryback is gone.
Ryback got released.
Gone.
Yep.
He already has independent dates.
Yes. I'm not surprised. That's to be expected. Cody Rhodes had fucking months worth of dates lined up.
Cody Rhodes rules, and Ryback's dumb.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to shit on Ryback because he was smart enough to get those trademarks that WWE
That's true.
dropped.
That's true.
So
And like he's probably a
that.
fine person. He loves The Secret. Whatever.
Good for him for no longer working for them.
Joey Styles also got released.
Yeah, he did.
In an uncomfortable way.
Yes, super uncomfortable. If you haven't seen it, Kathy Kelly did an interview with Joey Styles at the CEO at the corporate headquarters, and they took questions from Twitter, and one of them, Kathy Kelly,
somebody must have vetted, right?
Right, exactly. Like Kathy Kelly didn't pick that question. You can
She
tell
was
because
so
she
uncomfortable by
she
it.
refused to read it. So there's this question from Twitter. Kathy Kelly reads the handle of this person, and then it's like, I don't.
I'm not going to ask this
I'm not
question.
gonna
And
ask
she's
it.
like nervous laughing. She's like, I don't want to get fired, but for real, I don't want to get fired.
And so Joey Styles takes the papers away from her and like makes a joke, and he's because Kathy Kelly says, "Why do you think WWE? Oh, this is about Roman Reigns." And so Joey Styles takes it and is like, "Oh, I'll read it. I'll be the one that gets fired anyway."
Ha ha ha.
And then the question is like, why do you think that WWE keeps shoving Roman Reigns down our throats as a babyface? Yeah. Joey Styles, very diplomatic, answered it super diplomatically. I think that it was a mistake to answer the question in the first place, but regardless of that, he was like, our CEO sees someone as a babyface, and that is their vision, and that's what we're gonna do. And he's right far more often than he's wrong, which I don't necessarily think is true, but whatever. And if you're so smart and you see him as a heel, like at some point, if everyone keeps booing Roman, then the CEO may change his mind, but he has a vision and he's the one that's right. And then they just like laughed and moved on. And then Joey Styles got fired. So
and they didn't say why. They were just like, we've parted ways.
Yep,
we're
so
different.
It just
has
happened.
No reason to do that. He made Vince McMahon cry like a little bitch baby.
Yeah, it's real uncomfortable, very uncomfortable.
Soups uncomfortable.
Soups. So that happened. Happier things. Sasha Banks got married.
Yay!
Super exciting.
She looked really pretty in her dress.
Yeah, her dress was very pretty. What was her husband's name? Mikaze? Kid Mikaze? He's a seamster for WWE now too. He used to be a wrestler.
His real name is something.
Yeah, I just remember Mikaze. I know that's
they look very cute and happy.
Yeah, they're a cute couple. So yay! Congratulations, Sasha Banks. You
not
deserve...
a cute couple. Paige and Alberto Del Rio. Segue into Paige. Paige is injured, which is why she hasn't been on TV. But some people are saying part of the reason she hasn't been on TV is because she's causing lots of dramas backstage.
I mean, they built that monster. Like, they put this girl on...
They did build that monster.
I
love that monster, but they built that monster.
They built it. They were like, yo, here's what we need you for. We need you for the Total Diva era. Oh, JK, you've built your whole career on being this hot mess. Also, you're kind of a hot mess as a person. Go with it.
But she's also, like, what, 24?
I don't even
23?
I think she might be 23.
And she's been there for a long time, which means she's been there at all these ages where you act like an idiot.
Yeah, she won her first title when she was, like, 20.
Yeah.
Like, that's... Girl, get your life together. I understand. I feel bad for her mom that she keeps having to, like, fucking answer for her daughter's bullshit on Twitter because people won't leave her alone.
Yeah, I feel bad for Paige a little bit, too, because I feel like you can't get your shit together in that type of environment.
Yeah, that's true. They enable it.
Yeah, they enable it because it's good TV or, like, whatever.
Yep, exactly.
Zack Sabre Jr. is not signing with WWE, which called it.
Yeah, I'm not surprised either. It's not the right place for him right now, especially after that fucking CWC match. Like, it was good, but it's not...
Yeah.
It was very clear that he does not belong in the WWE right now.
It's a very different style. Don't get me wrong, I love his style. I love watching him live, and I like him a lot, and I still really like him. But, like,
Yeah, and we'll talk about it more when we talk about CWC later.
I can't imagine people...
Yeah, it's just different. Yeah, agreed.
Ibushi is signed, but is pretending not to be signed.
Yeah, he's saying in Japanese media that he's not signed, but like there's some speculation that the WWE is like, don't tell anyone that you've signed until we officially announce it, which will probably be when he wins the CWC. So like, it's super weird, but Ibushi's also super weird. So
is your hair longer than mine?
Yes.
Rude.
What can I say?
It looks really long and pretty.
Thank you. I'm using a special conditioner called Watch It Grow, and it fucking works. My hair is growing.
Make it easy to comb out?
Yeah. I also use like a coconut oil in my hair when it's drying, which makes it easier, and it's supposed to keep it from breaking. My hair's so long now that it just like breaks all the time.
Remember when you were like bald?
Yeah.
You shaved your head.
Yeah.
Britney Spears style.
Straight up shaved my head Britney Spears style. More than once.
And now you have like longer hair than me, who has been trying to grow mermaid hair for a long time, and you're just like over there growing.
All of this is natural too. None of it's ever been dyed. Isn't that weird? You just narrowed your eyes at me like I had personally offended you.
Dean Ambrose is a hot mess.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't watch it because I think those things, like, I like Stone Cold a lot, but, like, I think those ones on the WWE Network are boring AF.
Yeah. Some of them are really good. Some of them are just, like, they're so manufactured now.
Which one was really good?
The Vince McMahon one was really good.
That was, like, the first one.
And the Triple H one was really good, too. Because he, like, pushes them a little harder.
And because Triple H can say whatever he wants.
Yeah, true. Both of them can say whatever they want. The Dean Ambrose interview was really good in some places, was hella uncomfortable in a lot of other places. Like
what? Give me an example. Give me, as somebody who knows both those people very well, but didn't watch the podcast and never will. Like, give me some highlights.
So, Stone Cold, he interviews people a lot and asks about their childhood and how they became wrestlers. And so that's what he did. He was like, so tell me about how...
Oh, yeah. Dean Ambrose has a messed up childhood.
Yeah, and it was super obvious because Dean Ambrose clearly did not want to talk about it. And Stone Cold just kept, like, pressing him and pressing him and pressing him. And
you would think somebody was like, Dean had messed up childhood. Maybe, like, don't do your normal, like, how'd you get here thing.
No, I guess no one told him because it got very, very awkward and, like, was just deeply to my bones uncomfortable. Like, it was really weird. And then they, like, sort of broke away from that, but it had, like, set the tone for the whole interview, and you could just tell Dean was so uncomfortable the whole time. And, like, he loves to talk about wrestling, but I think it's hard for him to be himself, and I now totally understand why he prefers to do kayfabe interviews. Like, he's much better at it. He's way more relaxed. He can sort of be more of himself almost. But it was weird too because Stone Cold asked him about, like, how do you feel about the lunatic fringe gimmick, and it was very clear that Dean Ambrose does not care for it. Like,
really?
Yeah, he's like, oh, they just gave that to me. That's a thing. That's just a thing that they put on stuff for me. That's not my thing. He's like, I would rather have it be us against the world. That's what I would prefer. And it just was
but they gave that to Roman.
Right. And so it was just like,
they were like, in this faction, you're the backstabber, you're the crazy pants, and you're the, like, us against the world guy.
Right. And it was just like really, really awkward. And it also makes sense why so much of his merch is garbage because he doesn't care. Like, he doesn't care because he doesn't like that thing. And, like, I don't like it either. I think the Asylum shit is really squicky. It makes me really uncomfortable. Like, I think that the, like, casual use of lunatic is super weird and, like, clearly makes him uncomfortable. And, like, to see him actually talk about it.
Yeah, especially coming from, like, a messed up childhood to be, like, labeled a lunatic must be really, like, actually pretty painful.
Right. And he's like, I'm just myself. I just go out there and this is who I am. And it was weird to watch him talk about, like, he's like, I know I'm a role model to children now, and I take that very seriously, and it means a lot to me, and I understand that that's my role now. And he's like, I never thought that I would be here. And so it was, like, interesting to hear him open up in some ways, and, like, Stone Cold really wanted to press him and, like, got him to open up about a lot of stuff, but it was just like, oh, like you guys can't see what I'm doing, but, like, just shoulders up at your ears, like, curled into a ball. Michael and I were, like, both on our phones, like, half watching, half listening, and then he, like, shoots about Brock Lesnar and
I read about that.
Yeah, calls him just straight up called him lazy.
Brock's gonna do Brock. He's lazy.
Yeah, and, like, he's not wrong. Everyone watched that match and was
it was
like,
a bad match. We were all super hyped for that match, and then we were like, I'm sorry, is this WrestleMania?
Yeah, it was. And so it was, like, uncomfortable to watch him talk about that because it was like, whew, you're being real honest right now. It was strange. And then at the end, really awkward. So Michael was like, I can't watch any more of this. I'm going to bed. And I was like, there's, like, 10 minutes left. I'm just going to power through this. At the very end, Stone Cold.
I'm nervous, and I'm not even watching it.
Stone Cold is like, I want to issue you a challenge. And Dean's like, all right, great. And Dean, like, earlier had cut, like, a fake promo on him talking about, like, how the way that you build a match through a promo, and, like, but he, like, wouldn't look at Stone Cold while he was doing it. He delivered it straight to the camera, and so, like, that also contributed to this, like, awkward, weird vibe between the two of them. And so at the end, Stone Cold's like, I'm going to issue this challenge. I want you to keep pushing the bar. I want you to be the one who pushes the envelope and like brings it to the next level. And I think that you're the one who can bring us into the next era as this person. And Dean's like, well, you know, you can push as hard as you can. And like people still say no, and was like clearly getting frustrated about it. And Stone Cold was like, I feel like you're resting on your laurels in some ways, and that you need to like, and I don't think he meant it in a bad way.
No, he's trying to like pep talk him,
yeah,
like, hype
exactly.
him up.
And he was like, you need to take the thing that they've given you, the lunatic fringe, and make it your thing, even if it's not your thing. And like was giving him really good advice. And watching Dean,
the ringmaster, was giving you this
exactly.
advice. So like, maybe take it.
Yeah, and like, so you like watching Dean listen to Stone Cold. His fist is literally clenched, and like is listening, and is like angry, and you can see it, but is also like. Knows what his role in this company is. It was really like, if you're gonna watch any of it, literally just watch like the last 5 minutes, because
I don't think I could ever.
It was really fascinating.
I can't watch The Office because it makes me want to throw up.
But then afterwards, it got real quiet and real uncomfortable, and Stone Cold like didn't say anything.
Stone Cold went,
and
JK, LOL.
Stone Cold was like, well, what do you have anything to say to that? And Dean Ambrose was like, I'm really offended that you said that I am resting on my laurels. I find that very offensive. He's like, I have worked very hard to get where I am. And he got real calm for a second, and then just like, this is why Dean Ambrose is the top guy right now, because he turned it around and was like, but you made me think about the fact that there's a difference between getting to the top and staying at the top, and what that means, and I have some things to think about now. And it was like, all right, we're going to sign this off. And Dean turns back to the camera like he did for this like fairground promo shoot thing that he was doing, and Stone Cold goes to shake his hand, and Dean just turns away from him, and Stone Cold is like, whoa, and then Dean says something to him out of the corner of his mouth, and then Stone Cold just turns and like points at the camera, and then it's done. It was so awkward, and like I'm sure that he shook his hand afterwards, but it was just like awkward, like deep in my bones uncomfortable. Also,
I will never watch that.
Dean Ambrose reminded me of 2 separate men that I've dated, like both that confessed very dark things to me, like way too early in our relationships, and like, so I think that's part of it, that I like recognize that in him. Like, I can understand why he and Renee are together, because she probably stabilizes him a lot. Like, she seems like a very calm, relaxed person, and he seems edgy.
Edgy. The edgy fringe.
So yeah, it was deeply uncomfortable. I'm glad that I watched it.
I'm like sweating, and I did not even watch it.
I know, right? Like I would just read the transcripts. Like it's much easier to just read it and like not have to watch how deeply uncomfortable it was.
No, I'm never gonna do that.
Okay, well that's a thing. Any more news?
No, that's it.
Okay,
we're gonna end on that.
Great.
Fingers to the camera, and we're out.
From Concord, California, comes the most stylish, elegant, bewitching, eternally beguiling, continuously charismatic.
I didn't watch ROH because I was busy talking to Gino and Cage Side. So, like, if you're mad, be mad at Gino.
Yeah,
JK,
always.
You could still listen to the podcast. Also, I could have watched it earlier this week. It's not really his fault. But I had to finish my book for book club. I picked Insatiable, a porn a love story by Asa Akira. And this is a group of women who I was like, I've wanted to read this book for a long time. And I just kind of threw it out when we were picking books. And then while I was reading it, like, it's graphic. Like, she is a hardcore porn star. Like, it is a graphic book. And while I was reading, I was like, I'm so nervous. Like, I actually, like, I don't know. Like, I'm friends with these people, but they're like, it's like the girls in the group in like Nick's friends or like his friend group.
That book club. That's
and
right.
like I know them, but I'm not like particularly close to any of them. And so I was like starting to sweat a little bit. I was like, oh shit, oh my god. And then I got to book club, and like one of the first things one of the girls said was like, I love this book. And I was like, oh my god, thank God. And we had like a very frank conversation, and it was really awesome. And like I'm very grateful that this is like a group of very like open mind, like awesome women. Anyways, if you want to read it, it's called Insatiable, Porn a Love Story by Asa Akira, because her award-winning porn is called Insatiable, or Asa Akira's Insatiable, where she gets like gangbanged and DP'd and
legit. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well.
I really want to watch her porn now. I've never watched her porn, but reading that book, I was like, maybe there's something to this whole paying for porn thing.
Right? Fucking imagine that shit.
Right? Maybe it's really good when you pay for it. Because this book makes it sound crazy.
That's true. Having paid for some porn a couple of times, it is much better.
Unshocked.
Yeah. I mean, whatever. I mostly like amateur stuff, so it's hard to find places to pay for that.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's a little different. Anyway, how was TNA?
TNA was good. So I'm just gonna jump into it. The Rosemary thing did not end in a rape story.
Thank God.
It basically was like she took her childhood boyfriend, who I think his name was Johnny, to her like magical tree or whatever, and she was like, we're different, our love is different, whatever, and then he tried to make a pass at her to like get her to sleep with him.
Was he also a full-grown man pretending to be a child?
Yes.
Okay, good.
No, it was a little 13-year-old boy no, it was also a full-grown man, but he was in like a baseball cap.
Okay.
And then she freaks out because she like was like, you don't understand me, I'm not like other girls, I thought you were different, and then she casts like a spell on him, and she's telling the story to Bram, and Bram's like, yeah, I don't care about any of this. This is weird. You're weird. This is all awful. I'm just going to leave. And then she starts, like, rocking back and forth. And then he's like, and then she just screams bloody murder. And then takes, like, this rusted, like, pickaxe-looking thing and goes to swing it at him. And he, like, backs up. And then out of the, like, walls come Crazy Steve and like Abyss, and they're grabbing him and laughing, and then they put him in the trunk of a car, knocked out, and then Rosemary climbs in the trunk with him.
Weird.
And then it's just a shot of Crazy Steve and Abyss just like laughing, driving this car away.
Oh.
So I don't know what the fuck is happening.
That is so creepy.
Yeah. The second round of Rosemary's Tree Baby was much better.
Weird.
Soup's weird. Super dupes weird.
Oh man.
Thinking about things.
How's Broken Matt Hardy?
Amazing.
As always, I'm sure.
So his whole thing, and if you didn't listen to the Broken Matt Hardy and Jericho's podcast, it's amazing. They both are in total kayfabe the whole time. Matt Hardy's just making shit up off the top of his head, and it is insane, and it's so good.
Is Chris Jericho terrible douchebag?
No. He's like
okay.
he's his like natural persona, but he's like kayfabe committed to the Broken Matt character.
I see. Okay.
It's nuts. It was so fun to listen to. But in that, he like says that he is actually I don't know which one comes out first. Oh, it came out before TNA because TNA's on Thursday now. He like mentions that now like the reason he calls it the Genesis, right? Like the reason that this all happened is because they came back to win the tag titles, and then Jeff got on his cycle with wheels and hurt himself. No. It's funny in the podcast he calls it his cycle with wheels, and Jericho like literally is trying to keep up, and it's just like, what? And then he like kind of like realizes that it's a motorcycle, but never once does Matt Hardy like explain any further. He goes, his cycle with wheels. And then Jericho's like, oh yeah, okay, motorcycle, I got it. And then they lost the tag titles, and then the whole thing happened, right? Or like the progression of everything happened. So now Matt Hardy is making his obsolete mule win back the tag titles on his own. So like Matt Hardy's there, but is not helping, and he said that Jeff Hardy isn't allowed to fly. But they brought in some enhancement talent. Chuck Taylor was brought in.
Oh, that's why he was there. Okay.
Yeah, and another guy that I don't know. Sorry.
Okay.
He has like kind of Seth Rollins-y like skunk hair, so I was like, I don't know, but people seem to know him. It was cool to see Chuck Taylor on TV.
Yeah. He's the best.
Right. And so they were wrestling, and like obviously it was a handicap match because Matt Hardy and Reby were just like outside of the ring. But at one point, Matt Hardy just is talking to a fan and getting in his face, and they pulls him over the ring, so it's obviously, or over the railing, so it's obviously a plant, but pulls him over, knocks him to the ground, and just bites his face. And then it's just covered in blood.
What the fuck?
And like Revy's like into it, and then Jeff is kind of getting his ass kicked, but he's kind of rallying, and he hits like a twist of fate. And then he goes up to the top to do a flying maneuver, which Matt Hardy said he couldn't do. So then Matt Hardy comes into the ring, takes out Jeff, and then makes Jeff tag him, and then he gets the pin. So they won, but like in like a weird, creepy way.
Oh my god.
So
These fucking
Broken
Hardy
Matt
boys.
Hardy is killing it still.
Awesome. Fantastic.
Still in it forever. James Storm is the King of the Mountain champion.
Fantastic.
It was a really good match.
Good.
I'm sad that it's not Eli Drake anymore, but I think it will give him like fodder to do more dummy buttons. And then Bobby Lashley came out and was like, hey, remember that thing where I said that I want all of the title?
Oh, right.
James Storm, how about you do it? Me and you, I'll put all my gold on the line. You put your gold on the line. So they're fighting on Thursday for that.
Okay.
For all the gold.
So Bobby Lashley's about to get all the gold.
Yeah. They showed a segment of them talking to Drew Galloway, like, hey, Drew Galloway, are you mad? And Drew Galloway has the hugest kendo stick mark on his back from when EC3 hit him last week. And it clearly hurts because he's like, he's in his riled up character or whatever, and he's like, I'm so sick of EC3, and he just stops and he goes, fuck, like really loud. They obviously bleep it, but like he was in like a lot of pain, but he was like, basically like, I'm gonna murder EC3.
Whoops.
Yep. Whoopsie-doops. Loop-a-loop-a-loop.
What on Baby Geniuses, what did he keep calling it when his family got...
A whoopser-doo.
Whoopser-doo. Whoopser-doo.
Yeah, there's this really funny podcast that we listen to, and they have an expert on at the end, and it's just a comedian doing, like, being an expert on, like, nothing. But, like, they're in a character, and this one was, like, he was trying to sell caffeinated gum, but everybody in his life had, like, died from a tragic accident, but he kept calling them whoopser-doos. Oh, yeah, she's had a little bit of a whoopser-doo. So funny. Baby Geniuses rules. Where was I talking about? TNA.
Yeah. King of the Mountain, kendo stick.
That's where I was.
Yes.
Okay, I'm talking about it all out of order because I don't care. I live my life the way I want to live my life. They had knockouts. Maria got kind of fed up with Allie backstage, and Gail was like, who's my next opponent? And she was like, Allie is.
Great.
So then Allie, because Allie's not her cherry bomb persona, so Allie's like the assistant that doesn't know how to wrestle. But then Sienna backed her up, so it was a handicap match. But they lost because Allie lost it for them because Sienna accidentally took out Allie, and then Gail pushed Sienna out of the ring, and then Gail pinned Allie.
Obviously. But
it was fun to see her wrestle. I hope she gets to like develop, quote unquote, as like a character who learns how to wrestle. But it was fun to see Maria just be like, I cannot with you anymore.
Good.
Go get your ass kicked by Gail Kim.
Perfect.
Maria looked good. She had like a really pretty like goldy yellow dress, so to like match the miracle.
Oh.
Miracle. Grado and Shira fought the tribunal, and then Grado was being a goofball, but then Shira just like freaked out and was like, I'm gonna win, and then won.
Cool.
That's basically what happened.
Fantastic.
And then he danced, but he had like a freak out moment where he was like, I'm sick of losing. The tag titles weren't on the line because Decay was capturing Bram. The final match was EC3 and Mike Bennett, because then whoever wins that is qualified to be the number one contender for Bound for Glory for Bobby Lashley's title. It was a super good match. We all know that I love EC3 and Mike Bennett together in the ring. It's just so flippin' good, and I love it so much. So they had a phenomenal match. I am surprised that it ended with EC3 going over, because I thought it would go the other way because of all the Moose stuff that's happening with Bobby Lashley. Bennett did a bunch of cheating because that's what Bennett does,
what he does,
right?
Yes.
And then Moose came out and was gonna like fuck with the match and like mess it up, but then Eddie Edwards came out and did this sick spot. So Moose is on the other side of the ring, and the ref is kind of like, hey, Moose, you kind of got to get out of here. And Eddie Edwards runs down the ramp, runs into the ring, and then flips over the ref onto Moose. And then Moose and Eddie Edwards, like, go out into the crowd. Maria gets kicked out because she, like, is trying to pass the kendo stick to Mike Bennett. Mm-hmm. And then the ref is really frustrated and is like, you got to get out of here. And then Maria's like, you can't do this to me. You can't do this to me. And puts her finger, like, on his nose and is like, you can't do this to me. And then it takes, like, 3 refs to pull her out because she's, like, freaking out and screaming. But ultimately, EC3 went over.
Good.
So it's going to be EC3 and Bobby Lashley for the title, Bound for Glory, and I'm pretty sure that Drew Galloway's just gonna get involved and fuck some shit up.
Yeah, it seems like it. That makes sense.
So yeah, TNA.
Cool.
It's good.
That sounds good.
Deal with it. NXT, CWC, NXT.
Yeah.
Okay, NXT. You're
Yes.
reading something.
Yes, I am. Sorry.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to delete this note.
How dare you?
How
when
dare
we were
I?
trying to do the NXT segment.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yes, NXT. I watched both of these as they aired live, so it's
Great.
been-
I watched both of them today, but I was paying attention to NXT.
Okay.
What happens? Do we always just want to talk about Bobby Roode? Because I only just want to talk about Bobby Roode. Bobby Roode!
Bobby Roode! That was great. That was so great. I kind of liked it too. At first I was like, what the fuck is this? Isn't Bobby Roode a heel? But I kind of did like that he got... It was sort of like a shoot for a second.
And
where-
even when he's a babyface, he's kind of like the I'm better than you babyface.
Yeah, but it was like nice to be like...
He's pretty nice.
He's there and he's excited and he got to like express that moment of joy, and then it was like, oh yeah, that's right, Bobby Roode, fucking glorious.
That theme song is ridiculous.
That glorious.
It didn't
Bob.
make sense at first because you're like, this is a weird song. Like, why is it coming out? And then like at the end of it, when he was just like a smarmy dick that was telling everybody to take their bandanas and their ripped jeans and leave, and then he was just like glorious. And then it made perfect sense.
It made perfect sense.
Perfect sense. And yeah, all of the like glorious bombs that Ciampa and
Oh my God.
Gargano were doing were hilarious.
Cracking me up. I think my favorite one is the one where they start playing it and it's dark and then they turn the light on and he sits up in bed and it's clearly like the middle of the fucking night. He just nods and goes back to bed. I love it.
So good.
The one where he's literally doing his entrance for an NXT live show. And
I didn't see that one.
Yeah, so the music is playing because he's about to enter and he's like waiting on the ramp to go in, and Gargano and Tommaso are just like, yeah, here we are, glorious bomb, and he's like he's literally walking up the ramp, stops right between them.
Oh no, I did see that one. Yeah.
Nods and then goes out. Like, oh my God, I love it. I love that. I love seeing them backstage.
Stuff like that.
We would never have known that, and like I love it. I love that we got to see that moment backstage. Like all those people out there had no idea that had just happened. It was just like perfect. I loved it.
Hideo Itami returned.
Hideo Itami finally returned. That fucking
love his theme
scar is
sick.
It is so
In like both ways that you can say that word.
Yeah, like
it is like revolting and also like cool as shit.
Yeah, he looks like a fucking badass. Do
you think he was like, leave the biggest scar?
Right? Well, the reason he's been out for 15 months is because
It's been 15 months?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So they did the shoulder surgery because he had the same injury as Sami Zayn. He tore his rotator cuff. But when they opened it up, he had a shitload of scar tissue. And so they had to like do a bunch of other shit. And that's why that scar is so fucking nasty, because they had to like scrape a bunch of shit out of his shoulder. Yeah. So,
gnarly.
Super gnarly. But I'm glad he's back. He looks great.
Yeah, and he wrestled with the guy from the CWC who everyone was impressed by.
Sean Mulatto.
Yeah.
Yes.
He did a good job. That was a good match. And it was a good, like, welcome back match.
I don't think that's his last name.
Just call them Mulatto?
Yeah. Like,
yeah, that's racist as fuck, girl.
What is his last name?
I want to... You just call them Sean.
You totally accepted that as real, and I was like, that is
I kind
not
of didn't
right.
like. I kind of wasn't listening. I was just like, yeah, she said a name, and then you were like, nope.
That is not right.
That's so disappointing for you.
That's okay. You called Star Trek Star Wars.
Yeah, but that's not racist.
It was. You were very indignant. It was the most
I
hilarious
was being
moment
indignant as fuck.
that could have possibly happened.
Hideo Itami returned.
What the fuck is his last name?
It does start with an M, though.
Yeah, I know
you
it
were
does.
There. You're close. Return. CWC. I like that guy.
I do too.
I think that he's. I liked him in the CWC, and even though he got put out, Mulata.
Okay.
That's like really close to what you said.
Yeah, and like is really close to a not appropriate word to be his last name.
Okay, I feel fine with your mistake.
Yeah, I changed a letter, but it was an important letter.
It was an important letter.
Anyway, that match was really good. I was excited to see him. When he was on the CWC, we said we hoped we were going to see him some more. He has he has an NXT contract. So
cool,
I know that he's down in the developmental center, and like I think he's great. I feel like it sucks that he got kind of marred by that like half botch apron whack thing.
Whatever, it's one thing.
I know, exactly. And
people
so
make
it's like,
mistakes all the time.
So it was
Eva
like good
Marie
to see
is a
him.
thing.
Yeah, exactly. And like I think it's awesome for him that he got to his 2 first matches on WWE television were against fucking Ibushi and then Hideo Itami. Like, all right.
And he's holding his own.
Legit, yeah, you did a great job. You're clearly not going to win either of these matches, but you got to wrestle two. Like, I hope his next match is fucking Nakamura, and he's just like, boom, 1, 2, 3, Japanese star trifecta. Like, all right, great.
And then we got to see Aaliyah again.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So Bayley had a backstage segment where she was like, I'm Bayley, I'm doing Bayley things, blah, blah, blah. But she's getting that, like, harder edge Bayley, which is exciting because I like that. And then Asuka was like, suck it.
Right.
Come sit by the ring sign. I will show you, like, what I do. And then Bayley came out and sat with the commentators, and then Asuka was like, oh, excuse me, I have a chair for you. It's right there. Mm-hmm. Sit right there. And then Bayley was like, I don't need your fucking chair.
We're back!
And Aaliyah was like, I'm happy to be here. And then Asuka murdered Aaliyah in the ring.
Yes.
To the point where Bayley was like, why are you doing this?
Mm-hmm.
Stop.
Asuka was like, murder smile.
I'm going to kill you. That's going to be a fun match.
Yeah, it will.
I can't
it's gonna
wait
be really
for that.
good.
I think it's going to be really good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Part of me wants Bayley to win, but I hope she doesn't. Like, I don't think she needs it. If it's time for her to move up anyway.
If she doesn't win, and if she doesn't win, she has to move up.
Yeah, exactly. There's nothing left for her. I don't know. We'll see.
And then there was tag team wrestling, which I kind of wasn't paying attention to because I was doing stuff, but you said it was a good match.
Yeah, it was a good match. I mean, I like the Revival. I like TM61. I'm excited to see more from TM61, but, like, they clearly weren't going to beat the Revival. They're fucking brand spanking new.
But the cool thing about that is, like, in all of the segments that had the promos and stuff, it was Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano just being like, hey, hi, guys. Mm-hmm. Hi, we're here. We're going to fight you.
I love it. Okay.
When Dash, when Dawson was like, those things that are coming out of your mouth, those are just words. It was like, yeah, that's what we all know.
That's how words work.
Yeah, like, I get what you're trying to say, but that was a weird-ass way to say that.
Right, like, yeah, those
the
are
things
words.
coming out of your mouth are, like, barely words.
We'll just go rumbling. It's like you have word salad coming out your face again. I don't know.
I just liked how they were, like, funny and kind of like, hey, we're here, we're here, we're ready to kick your ass.
I love it. I wonder.
We're ready for that. I like how they can walk that fine line of, like, serious, like, their personas in, like, the CWC and then versus, like, them right now in NXT. That's great.
Okay, so do you think they're going to win the belts from the Revival? Now that, because they were never going to win until they became full-time, and now they're going to be full-time talent. Do you think they're going to win the belts?
Kinda?
I kind of do too, but now that they have full-time contracts, they might go to the Cruiserweight division on Raw. And
that is true.
Cannot be a tag team anymore.
That is true.
And I feel like the CWC especially set up that they, like, we love you, we love each other.
Maybe they have their match at TakeOver to, like, more introduce Ciampa and Gargano to, like, the bigger audience, because people who watch Raw and SummerSlam will watch, like, a big Brooklyn TakeOver.
Right, exactly.
And then they'll bring them up for the CWC. Look at you, tricky lady.
Putting
my feet on your chair.
That's okay. And, like,
right on your butt.
And I feel like the Revival could hold on to the title for longer too, to have, like, a good second reign that's long. And Tommaso and fucking Johnny Wrestling are great, and we'll have a great match with them, and I think can set them up too, that afterwards if they lose they can be like, well, we tried, we didn't get the belt, it's time to dissolve this tag team and then move on. And
that's fair.
Like, I would love to see that. I think that would be great.
That's
I'm just,
absolutely
like,
fair.
in love with both of them. I'm so happy that they signed. Like, it's weird. I feel like with so many independent wrestlers, I'm, like, sad when they sign with WWE sometimes. With them, I'm really happy. I feel like they got the best of both worlds. They got to, like, have this NXT experience and be very popular on the indies because of that, have a really great last run on the indies, and then retire from the indies and now get great jobs at WWE, which will lead to them probably being trainers later, and, like, is going to be a lifelong financial thing for them.
Great wrestlers and great storytellers. Absolutely. Like, some people are phenomenal wrestlers, like a Zack Sabre Jr., and he can tell a story in the ring, but, like, the story that Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano brought to the CWC in ring, before the ring, and those moments after the ring, like, it was just kind of like, it was so good. Like, you could come out into that match and not know anything about either of them and be, like, totally invested in that whole match and that storyline.
Absolutely. It was so good.
Also, Johnny Gargano sells so good.
did
Also,
not
like,
think he was gonna
Part
win.
of it was like selling because like obviously, but part of it like Tommaso hits him very hard.
Yeah.
So part of it's probably like, oh fuck.
I mean, they fought each other a million
fight a lot,
times.
yeah.
Like that's
They're besties.
yeah, and like they have been on the indies for a super long time, and they weren't a tag team until they came to NXT.
Right.
So
well,
like,
Johnny Gargano was even said like, I've never been a tag team
Right.
wrestler. I'm not a tag team wrestler.
yeah, it's that's just. So
I think it was
great.
a really, really interesting choice to have Johnny go over because everybody
too.
thought it was going to be Ciampa. Even in that match,
Yeah.
like everyone thought it before, and then in the match it was like Ciampa's like kicking ass, and then the like way that Johnny won it, and like the kind of like the like quick submission,
Yeah.
like pin or like not submission, but like pin to the mat, like the quick, and like I don't know, it was just so good. It was just good storytelling. The moments afterwards, and like the way that Ciampa just sat down in the ring, all dejected.
Well,
and,
no,
like,
that he
mad.
like left and
Well,
was
but
like
he left, and then
yeah.
he came back with the way that he like flopped into the ring and just sat and was like,
and like put their heads together.
they love each other.
Uh,
And they kind of talked about Candice LeRae and WWE TVs, though. I feel pretty good about that.
excellent.
I mean, they like should probably bring her in, right?
I mean, she's so popular and can do intergender wrestling.
And is so good. I think that would be sad though if she got signed and then didn't get to do intergender.
Exactly,
wrestling, 'cause she's
that's-
such a good intergender wrestler.
Exactly. That's why I kind of like that she's still out on the indies doing that. So,
She should go to Lucha.
God, wouldn't that be amazing?
I want more Candice LeRae in my life. She's doing Women of Honor stuff, which is good.
Yeah, true.
Other thoughts on the CWC? I am obsessed with Rich Swann.
Yes,
like I
he's
liked
so
him in the
good.
stuff that I saw him in NXT, but seeing like a more extended version of him,
Yep.
I just loved like top to bottom everything about it.
As soon as they started to show clips from that Baron Corbin match, I was like, I remember you. Oh my God, you were the best.
Yeah.
So good. I'm pretty sure we talked about him on an early episode of the podcast.
Yeah, we did. We definitely did. And
Yeah.
we were like, we hate Baron Corbin, but this guy,
This
we
guy's
love.
great. We love this enhancement talent, and now he's actually around, and it's so good. That
Yeah.
match was great. I really enjoyed it. I didn't
really
care
did.
for the guy that he was fighting. We
Yeah, I
talked
didn't
about
care
that
for that
earlier.
guy either.
Yeah.
But
Whatever. Not
like,
everybody's a
whatever.
winner.
Who cares?
Yeah.
He helped showcase Rich Swann and all of his amazingness.
The Zack Sabre Jr. match was.
Zack Sabre Jr. wrestled like 2 weeks ago.
Was that 2 weeks ago? Oh, that's right.
We already
that's right.
talked about that.
No,
The next match was Noam Dar
Yes.
and the other half of the Bollywood brothers.
Yes,
I liked this half of the Bollywood brothers more.
I did too.
I was surprised that he didn't win.
Me too. I was really
Actually.
surprised.
Noam Dar is like super dupes hot,
Yes.
but is like, and he's a good wrestler, but like he's still very young, and like I think it shows. Like yes, he's been wrestling since he was 15, but I still think that like it shows a little bit. Like I thought that the Bollywood brother, which I'm sorry I can't remember his name, and I don't feel like googling it, the one with the better hair, did like a lot of the like heavy lifting in that match.
Yeah. It was good though. I enjoyed it. And then Jack Gallagher. Gallagher.
Tiny English guy.
I want to say it's Gallagher, and I know that that's incorrect.
Sure,
so-
whatever. It's fine.
Yeah. Yes, Tiny Englishman. I really liked him. I like just from the vignettes. I didn't really care for that character, but
Oh,
like,
really? I was like, in my head, I was like, the vaudevillains are pissed right now.
oh yeah, for sure. Because his isn't like old timey
No,
gimmick.
his is just like, I am just like this way.
Yeah, this is who I am. I am very British. This is who I am.
Yeah.
And, like
he's
oh, great,
that way
okay.
because he's British, not because he's like,
part of a gimmick.
yeah, part of the gimmick. He's just like, I'm the most Britishy British guy.
Yes, exactly. I liked his trunks. I know there's some kind of story behind them, but I did not look it up, so I will.
There is a story behind that?
Yeah, it had something to do with his family. I cannot remember what it was. I'm sure
I don't know.
someone will
Everyone
tell
has
us.
access to Google.
Yeah, some
They
Google
can
it.
all deal with it.
But I did like his trunks. I thought they were really cool. He was great. I really enjoyed him.
I liked the guy he wrestled with too, which I am really, really trying to Google his name.
Oh, that's what you're doing? Okay.
Yeah, I'm paying attention. But I like the guy that he wrestled too because Fabian Achner. Fabian, that guy.
Fabian, yes.
I liked him too, and I liked the storytelling of that match too, with Jack being so tiny and like,
Yeah.
you know, proper British guy, but being like a very technical British style wrestler, and then Fabian being a cruiserweight technically, but also being like basically the biggest cruiserweight.
Right, yeah.
And, you know, that move that he did where he like walked up onto the ropes and then jumped from one to the other one and then did like a moonsault was awesome. Like,
Yeah, it was
and like
sick.
I like bigger guys who can flip, so like I
Yeah,
obviously
that was
popped
really
for that.
cool.
But I just thought that their storytelling with the totally different styles, the totally different body types, like that was really good. I really liked that. I really enjoyed that match.
Yeah, I did too. Very good. It was good. It was a
think
good
that's all of them.
episode.
There's only 4, right? Sure.
Yes. Yeah.
We did it.
We did it.
Oh my goodness, remembering things is hard.
Glorious! No, I won't give in till I'm victorious. And I will defend.
I feel like you should take the lead on this because I already talked about Raw today. Because I was on Kate's side live because I'm so cool. Sorry, Erin, not as cool as me.
Yeah, that's fine.
Not as cool.
That's fine. I did not take any notes on Raw, of course.
I did watch it and talk about it today, so it's fresh.
I know
in my
that
face.
it opened with Enzo and Big Cass. I did not care for the way they talked about Sasha. I honestly thought that was how they were going to say that she got married. That he was going to be like, oh, she was feeling it. Oh, by the way, she got married. Just kidding.
Yeah,
and then it was just awkward.
Yeah, I talked about this on Kate's side too. I think Enzo is just not for me. Like, Enzo is not my demographic. Gino compared him to, like, The Rock in that, like, he is, like, kind of a creep, his character, but is super charismatic, and people pop really hard for that. I don't mind love stories. Like, I don't mind love stories when they're handled, like, well. I don't like love stories in title pictures.
Yeah, I agree.
And, like, obviously Sasha's part is moved on from that, and now that she's just, like, fodder for their fight, even though she's not even there, which is uncomfortable. And, like, I just don't. It just is walking a fine line of creep to me. And also, the, like, coding in their tag team is really interesting. Like, obviously there's a lot of appropriation with, like, hip-hop culture and stuff like that, and then there's also, like,
but part of that is Long Island culture,
I know,
too.
which is what I was about to say, which is part of, like, a Long Island culture, but then there's also the, like, they make a lot, or whatever, who cares? Sorry,
New Yorkers,
people who live in New York. I don't care about New York. What was I going to say? Oh, but with that culture, there can come, or traditionally can come, like, some, like, negative homophobic stuff. So, like, when he said that thing, like, oh, you guys are in a bath together, like, that would be the worst thing in the world. Like, I think they're just, like, cheap jokes, but, like, I'm not actually offended by them. I'm just, like, ooked out by them. I just, like, it's not my favorite, but I get why they, like, go over, and, like, he obviously has lots of energy and charisma, and it's just, I, like, don't have the energy to be mad about it. I just, like, it's not for me.
I prefer Enzo when he's not interacting with women. I think that when it's just him and other guys, like, that kind of stuff doesn't bother me as much, because I feel like when he's talking to other men, there's usually some kind of twist in it where you're like, oh god, you're gonna say something fucking crazy sexist or whatever, and then it's like, oh no, this is just, oh okay, you're just real witty and real clever, and you take time to get to your punchline. But when there are actually women involved, like Sasha, or the idea of Sasha, it just feels way more skeezy.
And, like, it felt like a little bit more skeezy when she isn't there too.
Yeah,
like,
agreed.
When she was there, she kind of was, like, giving the red light back, or, like, the green light back, and they were doing, like, how you doing? But when she wasn't there, then it felt weird. Yeah. But, like, at the same time, I don't know. Ugh. But the positives, Jericho.
Yes, that was lovely.
That's a positive.
I liked that. I liked too that they're, like, Canadians sticking together, I guess.
He's got my back. You got my back, right? Do you have my back? You got my back? Yeah, I thought it was a rhetorical question.
Yeah.
Except for that Kevin Owens said rhetorical weird.
Super weird.
I was like, Canada?
English is his second language.
I know.
So,
Montrealish. Mm-hmm. I know that's not a language, but it's funny to say. I like to pretend to be ignorant.
Did you hear where Sami Zayn was last night?
No.
On Superstars.
Oh, no.
I know. I was very disappointed to hear that. That's why I'm wearing this shirt, because I was like, no, Sammy. That's so sad.
Because we had to see Sheamus.
Yeah. Like, Sheamus and Cesaro had a great match. I'm not gonna...
I mean, I have to be honest, I wasn't paying attention because during that match on Twitter, somebody tweeted the new Luke Cage trailer, and I just kept watching it over and over again, and I didn't have time to watch that match.
That's fair.
Because that Luke Cage trailer looks sick!
I have not watched it
I'm so
yet.
excited. It looks like it's going to be the best of the Netflix series for Marvel, and that's saying something because fucking Jessica Jones and Daredevil have been dope, but they look like they're handling Luke Cage so well, and Misty Knight looked so good. Sweet Christmas! Okay, sorry. Luke Cage says Sweet Christmas.
Oh, okay.
I just am very excited, okay?
Okay.
The casting is just perfect, and it just looks so good.
Okay, that's fine. I'm happy for you.
I'm very happy for me, too. So you didn't watch the Cesaro-Sheamus match?
It was good. They always put on a good match
Yeah, it's
together.
a good match. It's just, like, weird.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But, like, why did Cesaro need to wrestle twice? Like, we couldn't get Sammy coming to Rusev? Like, but it seems like they're setting up a thing where Daniel Bryan's going to, like, sneakily steal Cesaro.
Yeah, it does. Oh, fucking Daniel Bryan is on a fucking tour of destruction. We did not talk about this last week because we watched SmackDown later, and so we didn't watch the post show. Did you hear about what Daniel Bryan said about John Cena?
Yeah, I did. I read that.
That, like,
John Cena was like, or he was like, I was uncomfortable by that because
not
I
uncomfortable,
worked, I was
offended.
mad, offended,
He
whatever.
was offended, which is, that's a strong word to use.
Yeah.
Much in the same way it was very awkward when Dean said it to Stone Cold. Like, it was just an awkward thing to say. Like, he's kind of your brother-in-law, and you know that he's the face that runs the place. Like, Daniel Bryan seems like he doesn't give a fuck. Like, he's like, what are you gonna do? Fire me?
Been fired twice, bro. Come
Right,
at
like-
me. I'm on Total Bellas.
Right? He's like, I
got
give
that
a
Bree
fuck.
shield.
But that moment where he was like, I feel like you're being underutilized here, felt like a very real moment. Like, it probably is part of a storyline, but it felt like are you supposed to be saying this right now? Especially when Mick Foley was like, stay out of it.
Yeah. What about that time that Mick Foley's hand got caught in a cereal box?
That was really funny.
He was like, I'm a part of this scene. I've made a terrible mistake.
I know.
Retreat.
I loved it. I loved P. Diddy, but I don't know why they kept calling him Puff Daddy. That's not his name.
But they were consistent.
Yes.
They all called him Puff Daddy.
That's correct, because that's
Maybe-
probably what fucking Vince calls him.
Whatever. But I loved how much we talked about Big E's dick during the show.
Yeah, me too.
You can't say nuts, but they're saying nuts all over the place. They're like, so how's
Testicle puns?
How's
awesome.
How's Big E's nuts? Hey, you can't say nuts. Big E's in a bad place, Puff Daddy.
In case you didn't know, Biggie has a contusion on his penis and he has a bruise on his taint. Basically, is what happened.
But for realsies?
Yeah, that's why he wasn't wrestling, because he has a.
Oh, that's for realsies. It's not like I mean.
No, that's a real thing. He got a
They pulled him too hard.
Yeah, he got like a deep bruise on like the base of his penis and his taint. That's why
that's really sad.
That's what a contusion is. If you didn't know that, it's a bruise. Yeah.
Natty's sister must be so sad right now. Toad Steves. I don't even know if they're actually dating, but I hope that they are.
That would be wonderful.
And then Anderson Gallows just like had nuts in a jar, and we're talking about
So
how everybody's
funny.
so chastity, and then they just mumbled. That was my favorite part, when they just like didn't cut away and they were just mumbling, pretending to look over charts. Oh yeah, that's so funny.
I love New Day. I think that they've done a great job. I love that they're the longest reigning tag team title holders. It's time to give it to Anderson and Gallows.
Absolutely.
Like it's funny because we talked when they first came in about how they felt very stiff and they didn't
They
feel
tried to take away Kofi's nuts.
Yes, they definitely did. And Xavier came out of nowhere and was like, "Now, how dare you!"
You don't talk about Kofi's nuts.
That match ended so fast, too.
Remember, because he used to be from an island. Coconuts are on islands.
Fucking no. No.
Yeah, so like Peen Watch at the WWE is for real.
Yeah, seriously, everyone needs
their
to be
version
on their
of Peen
toes.
Watch is different.
Yeah.
Ours is just like, wow, that dick is out of control.
I love that people tweet that at us. Anytime
Too
anyone
much.
notice a prominent dick in wrestling, they're like, "Hey guys, did you see?
Did you see this dick?" It's just funny because I feel like some guys, especially guys who work out, sometimes don't realize that like you can like really see their dick.
Yeah,
And so it's just funny.
Did you see those Orlando Bloom photos?
Over it.
I don't particularly find Orlando Bloom
I used
attractive.
to have
but
his
I was like,
photo
damn.
all over my locker in high school because I loved that Legolas shit.
Well, he's got a leg to last, let me tell you.
Oh no! Oh no! Uncomfortable.
What else happened on Raw?
Lana's face got pushed into a cake, and honestly,
not enough of that cake wound up on the ground.
That whole segment was kind of a hot mess. I kind of like Roman just being the like dick at the party with
I know.
champagne in his hand. But like, and him being like, "Whoa, put that beef away."
Oh my God.
Or whatever he said. Look, it was a hot mess of a segment. Whatever. The best part about it is the after show video that just shows Lana covered in fucking red velvet cake, just walking around the hallway screaming. He literally shattered my dreams. Revenge, I must plan revenge. I can't even. It's the best. I'm going to put it on our Tumblr. It's
so
the
good.
best video of all time.
Lana talking is good. Lana is good when she talks, when they let her do that kind of stuff.
They let her say things more than, he's the only one that can
have me.
So weird when she slowly kissed his bicep.
I know, it made me really uncomfortable. I did not like it. I did not like that at all.
It was so weird.
It was so gross.
But at least I liked it in the sense that it was like, oh, okay, she has him too. Like, there was that moment at least, and I was like, okay, that at least is something.
I also love that he was wearing his actual wedding suit, just minus the shirt.
Just out of shirt.
Fine. That's fine. And, like, I understand why Lana wore a different dress, because she was going to be covered in cake and you don't want to fuck your wedding dress up. But that was a goddamn travesty.
That wedding, that dress.
Do you remember my pink prom dress that I wore to the walnut?
Yeah, it does kind of look
it
like
looks.
that.
I can't find a photo of the whole dress anywhere. I looked all over Facebook because I was going to post it when we were talking about
Look,
it.
I'm Lana.
I'd be like, see, Lana's wearing a fucking trash bag prom dress because this is what I wore. I paid $20 for that prom dress.
Yeah, that was not a cute dress.
I was on prom court my senior year because I have no fucking clue why. I have no idea why people voted for me.
Were you the people voted for you because you were like kind of low key cool, or were you like a joke vote?
I think everyone knew me because I was in all the plays, and I was also a very big gossip, and so everyone came to me for information, and so I think that was part of it.
Queen.
I think that was part of it, is that you couldn't vote for people who had been on the homecoming or the Winterfest court, and so I think at the end of the year everyone was just kind of like, yeah, we all know who this person is, and they were like, I can't, because you had to nominate like 5 people at once, and they were like, we just can't think of anyone else, and so I just got nominated, and I was like, well, I'm gonna wear the flashiest fucking weird ass dress I can, and I wore a giant Kentucky Derby style pink hat filled with tulle. It was the best, and I wore bright pink Converses. It was the greatest, but like, it's a $20 dress, it's a trash bag. Yeah, that's exactly what Lana was wearing. What else happened? Oh, Sasha fought Dana to keep Dana out of the
I like the
SummerSlam match.
segment that Mick Foley and her had. I like when he was on the phone with Stephanie. He was like, the boss is here. No, not your dad, Sasha Banks.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh, and then she was like, look, I get it. Let's just make it a handicap match. And he was like, I'll do you a solid. If you beat Dana, then she's out. She's banned from ringside. If not, it's a handicap match. And Sasha was like, cool, whatevs.
Awesome.
I'm the boss.
Obviously.
And then she beat her.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good.
It was a
short
short match,
match,
but like I thought that Dana and Sasha both looked really good. So.
Yeah, I agree.
And the interaction from Charlotte on the outside, and
Yep.
If it's going to be a short match, I'm glad that it's a good match, and then it's a match that has meaning and furthers the storyline.
Right, exactly.
And Jax got a package, so that's good.
Mm-hmm. That was good.
Braun Strowman
crushed another jobber.
who gave the best interview of him just like looking terrified.
Terrified. I
love that.
That was my favorite promo of the whole night. What's his name? Jarrell something. His first name was Jarrell. I don't remember what his last name was. He was very good, though. I really liked him. I hope that he's part of their developmental program, because I would totally like to see him in the Cruiserweight series, because he was fucking fun.
And then Seth was like, I'm Seth promo. And then Finn was like, I'm in this weird Irish cave.
I'm about to tell you a very scary story, children.
Story, children. I come to you with a story, children. It's about a demon.
Demon.
I can't tell if I liked it or not, but like I liked that there was
I kind
more.
of did. I like sort of hated it, but I kind of liked it.
Yeah, and I liked that it was informational. I was like, oh, that's where your name comes from. Cool, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
because I'm not like a weird Irish historian. Cool.
Yeah,
I hope that they handle the demon a little bit better, and it only comes out every once in a while.
If he doesn't win as the demon, they should never fucking use it again. Like, honestly, he has to win.
Do you think they're gonna give him the belt?
Yes, I do. I like.
That's what Gino said today on Cage Side. He was like, the way that Seth was like kind of putting Finn over in his promo, and then the like package that they gave to Finn and everything that they're doing, it really feels like they're gonna give it to Finn.
Yeah, and why would they give it to Seth? It's supposed to be
pretty.
It's supposed to be a new era. Like, he did come back very suddenly and got his title for a hot second, and then lost it, and then built it into Dean. Like, I would rather see Finn win the title and then have Seth fight him for it again. Like, don't just give it to Seth. If you just give it to Seth, then it's just like, oh yeah, actually nothing changed. Who cares?
That's true.
And like, part of me would really like to see Finn in the cruiserweight picture because he is small enough to do it, but he's so good that.
Oh no, my wine rack!
Good God! That scared the shit out of me.
My wine rack is a like Camelback that you put in your bra, and then it's got a tube that you can drink out of. It's for my Brie mode act, but it just fell onto Erin's head.
For no reason.
It's my titty wine.
Yep.
Nikki Bella loves wine. Maybe her boobs are made out of wine.
That would be very weird. Can you imagine trying to do like a moonsault and you got like sloshing going around inside your tits?
Sloshing.
That's what they would be doing.
We were talking about something serious, but I feel like we're done.
Gotcha. Yeah. One. Break the wall. Break down the walls. Front down with the back to the rock. And watch the world. Baby, you know you're Judas. And I'm your priest. Baby, what I got is not from the least. Bring it to the stage in the rage of the beast.
Smackdown.
Yeah. Yeah.
God, my computer.
What do you think of SmackDown?
Overall, I really liked it.
Yeah, I thought it was good. I thought it was better than last week.
Yeah, I obviously don't care for all the Dolph Ziggler pushing, but like it's what's happening right now, so I'm just accepting it.
Yeah.
I liked Bray's promo in the beginning. Mm-hmm. I wish that they would have follow through. I was just saying to Erin, like, so he gives Rowan this promo of like, I need you to like sacrifice yourself, and then like Rowan gets pinned. So I'm hoping that there's some like Katrina Sinestro de la Muerta shit where like Bray Wyatt like rips Eric Rowan's heart out or something.
Yeah, that would be nice. I was saying too, I think that Eric Rowan is a lot better when he's with Luke Harper. He's just not as strong when it's just
Luke
him.
Harper, if it was the other way around, like Luke Harper would be fine.
Luke Harper is fine by himself, period, without the Wyatt family.
Yeah, agreed.
Like, he doesn't need anybody else. Eric Rowan really, really needs somebody to help carry him.
Yeah, it's kind of like painful a little bit.
It's weird because
like
he's
dragging
not
dead
bad.
around.
He's a good wrestler. It's just that his character.
He's an okay wrestler. I feel like he botches a lot and is maybe not that safe. I think like there's nothing other than him being in the Wyatt family. There's nothing about him that's like interesting. So I'm hoping that there's some like turn on Rowan or something.
Yeah. We'll see.
Dean like hates Dolph Ziggler and then like dirty deeds him in the face. So like that's good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But awesome things that happened is Alexa Bliss had her SmackDown debut.
Hell yeah, in-ring debut.
On her, in SmackDown in-ring, and it's her birthday, and she won.
Yeah, that was great.
And she looked great.
Before that, maybe the best Eva Marie I've like tonight on SmackDown was the most.
Top to bottom, she did the whole the entrance that's very funny
and very long.
The reason that she couldn't wrestle is because her top popped off,
which is the weirdest thing. I thought they did a great job of like, here she is, she's making this entrance, we're finding this so annoying, she's going to her corner, and then it just like wide panned out and her top was undone.
And she was like, her face
we
was
literally
like,
we literally had to rewind it because we were like, what did we miss? I'm so confused.
Yeah, it was funny. So then like she comes out during Alexa's and Becky's match, and that's the reason,
and her fucking music starts to play again.
Yeah,
Eva Marie is ready to compete.
Which is funny, like, does he do that live every time?
He must. I thought it was part of her video. I feel like the original one, the first one that plays.
This one was just like a different.
Yeah.
But then, so like Eva Marie comes out ready to wrestle, and then Alexa gets to knock down Becky and then hit Twisted Bliss because Becky was like confused.
Right. As you would be.
As you would be. And then Eva did a good job in her like little interview segment.
Yeah,
like,
she was great.
I mean, she's in like the most annoying character, the Eva Marie character, but like she did a good job.
Yeah, she said all of her words very well. She stayed all the way through. She like did
this gimmick is working. Whatever genius writer came up with this and whatever producer greenlit it, like fucking kudos to you guys because this is fucking genius.
Yeah, it's the best that they could have done with Eva Marie. It's actually really great.
It's playing on all of her weaknesses, or like it's highlighting all of her weaknesses, but in like the best way. It's like we all know what her weaknesses are, so like let's just like pretend that they don't exist and like write the storyline around them. And like you all hate her anyway, so like let's just keep the heel heat. Like it's working.
Yeah, it is working. It's much, much better. I really prefer it like this. I don't want her shoved down my throat as somebody who can be on the same fucking level as Becky Lynch. She's not. She's never gonna be.
I would like a for real program with Becky and Alexa though.
Yeah, I would too. I am interested to see next week. They say that Eva is gonna have her in ring.
She's like, I'll be ready for next week.
I'm sure that she will not. But I wonder, like, how long can this go? Like, is she?
I hope it goes past the point of uncomfortable and then circles back around to being hilarious.
Yeah, I never want to see her wrestle again, and so like part of me is like, can they really never have her
forever
wrestle? I would kind of love that.
I mean, they're not going.
No, they're not going to. But like, I wonder how long this is going to go on. Because as soon as they have her wrestle and she's bad, they're going to kill this momentum, and so they like really have to be careful about how long they drag this out.
But it also kind of seemed like Alexa and her had like some kind of collusion, so maybe something like that will happen.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. We got a second women's match, which was also really good.
And long. It was a good
Carmella
match.
and Natty. Carmella looked great.
Yeah. Her promo in the beginning was still a little weird.
Well, I mean, because she's still playing on the old character that she had and still riding the Enzo and Cass wave.
But it was great when Natalya came out and everyone was like, no! And she just turned around and was like, fuck you!
Yeah, just like, punch her in the face! And Natty looked really good in the match, too. Like, Carmella went over, but Natty looked strong in the match. Yeah. And I found this match to be really entertaining. And I don't always love watching Carmella matches, but, like, I feel like Carmella's really stepped it up in ring, at least for her to come up to the main roster.
Yeah, I agree.
It was really entertaining to watch.
And I like the idea of them having a feud, too. I think that it's smart to start transitioning Natalya into a heel who can bring up new baby faces.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
She has worked so long as a baby face who gets dominated and demolished by heels. Like, she's better on the mic as a heel, which is still not saying much, but is better. Like, she is better at it. And her in-ring trash talk is really good. So it's like, this is the perfect opportunity for her. I'm like, I want to see her. I don't want her to just be mama hen useless Natalya. Like, this is good for her. So I'm glad.
Yeah. Shockingly, I am enjoying all the stuff that Heath Slater is doing.
Yeah, me too.
Also, I was creepily Googling everybody's kids. And his kids are really cute.
They're very cute.
The two little girls. His
7 kids.
Also, I thought it was really funny that they were talking about a pool because when I was doing research about Rhino's campaign, like 90% of his platform that I found was about pools. So I was like, is this like an insider joke that he's like obsessed with pools?
It must have been. Heath Slater was like, I respect you, bro. I'll put this into our promos. And then everyone who's in the suburb of Dearborn, Michigan that Rhino is running for commissioner for, they were like, yeah, that's right.
We are very concerned about that.
I mean, it is very important.
No, like it like makes sense or whatever, but it's just funny.
It's funny though. That's like the thing that community that he's running to represent is like
I mean, he's
the
doing
most
other
concerned
stuff, but
about.
like it's a lot about pools.
It's so funny.
Randy Orton and Alberto Del Rio had a match because like Alberto Del Rio, I guess, is a placeholder for Randy to beat before Brock.
Yeah. I mean,
which is fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
That is the point. I wasn't really watching the match because I was Googling pictures of WWE Superstars kids.
So creepy.
Well, I was just curious. Luke Harper is a really cute baby.
Yeah, his baby's real cute.
And Kevin Owens' whole family is perfect.
Right. Bastards.
The Rock's daughter is like 14. She looks like just like him, but like Lady Rock.
So like Nia?
Yeah, like 14-year-old Nia,
Okay.
I guess. Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair.
There are not as many people with babies as I thought. I wanted to look at more babies.
I'm not surprised, actually. I was surprised there are that many people with kids.
That's fair.
Yeah, I didn't really pay attention to the Randy Orton ADR match. It was good, but it's like, who cares?
It just feels like a placeholder. Like, you knew it was going to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I'm sure the people who are really into ADR, like, were, like, loving it or whatever.
Yeah, like, he's a good wrestler, and I enjoy watching him, but, like, this didn't mean anything, so I didn't really care.
Also, we had American Alpha against some jobbers enhancement talent, and then, like, the rest of the tag teams just came out and, like, circled the ring.
Yeah.
And we're like, Hey, sup?
I like too that with
We
the
hear though too.
with the vaudevillains that they're not playing their like old timey music at the beginning for that entrance.
Yeah, I think it's just when they do their full entrance. Like when
I
the
hope
Usos,
so.
when the Usos come out for their like, if they were to come out in something like that, they wouldn't do like the haka or
Well,
like,
even when
they would just go, I'm mount up, or whatever. I don't know the lyrics.
well when the vaudevillains used to remember when they used to win matches, when they would win matches, their music that would play at the end started with the old timey music. It wasn't just like
They should definitely only use that for like full entrances.
Yeah, and
I still like it.
I mean, I still like it. It just doesn't. I guess it works better for SmackDown than it did for Raw. But like, it's just, it still feels a little weird. And I think that removing the like tin canny old time music feels better. Like it works for them and makes them feel less like we're coming to an abrupt halt to do this thing about these old timey men. And with the like where they just start the non old timey music, it just sounds so much better.
Right.
So I really liked that.
The Ascension are still alive.
The Ascension are there. I forgot they were on SmackDown. Also, the Hype Bros are officially a tag team.
Yeah.
It's a thing now, which is cool.
Oh, also the very best part of this whole show is that when Miz and Maurice like almost like had sex in front of Renee Young,
Poor
and she
Renee!
was like so upset. And
We're gonna
concerned
go
about
back
it.
to ringside.
And they're like, no, "You're handsome. Oh, you're so beautiful." And they're just laying on a table.
I love
It's
that they
just funny,
came
yeah.
back and they were
They're like way apart from each other. Renee is in the middle, and then they're like kind of like blowing kisses, not really paying attention to Renee. And then they cut to a package about Apollo Crews, and you come back, and it's just Maurice and Miz lying on a table.
It's perfect.
Oh, and Baron Corbin and
Beat him.
Kalisto are definitely going to be in the pre-show.
Yeah, for sure. That's
I was like,
book
this is
that.
a pre-show match.
Yep, for real. Kalisto, king of the pre-show.
King of the pre-show.
Yeah, making that money. Whatever.
Overall, I had a good time watching SmackDown.
Yeah, I thought it was really good.
2 hours is definitely a lot more consumable than
Yeah,
Raw.
it feels so much more manageable.
It really does.
Oh, we're gonna do this at the end of the SmackDown segment because we forgot to talk about it in Raw. But
Oh, the Darren Young?
yeah, Darren Young had another match, had a rematch with Titus Young. God
Titus
damn it.
O'Neil, and he won by pulling his tights, and then he was like, and Titus was like, hey, you pulled my tights, and Darren Young was like,
A sucker. And I love too that Bob Backlund was like not mad at all. It was just like, yeah, that's right. You did it.
And Bob Backlund picked Darren Young up. He was like, I'm Bob Backlund.
I love it. I love what they're
I do
doing
too.
with
I
Darren
hope
Young.
it's like sustainable because I really like it.
Yeah, I do too. And I like that they've
Darren Young's like confidence face afterwards, where it was kind of like terrifying though, where he was like just crazy smiling, like
yeah, and like
I gotcha.
I was gonna say
I
too,
gotcha.
I like that they've like planted these seeds for him to turn into the Bob Backlund rage character, but it's not like fully developed yet. I
Yeah.
feel like that is gonna give that character in this storyline more range
I
too,
agree.
which I really like. Anything else? Is that it? SmackDown?
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good.
Well, we did it. This is the end.
This is the end.
Are you doing like a Doors thing or
What?
the song "The End" by the Doors?
No, that was not what I was
This
doing.
is the end, and then we're like in numb all of a sudden.
That sounds like horrible.
Nope.
No thanks.
All right. We don't have any questions, but we got some new reviews. I'm gonna read one of them. Now I just picture
This
you.
is the part where we sing.
Yeah. Why are we singing?
I don't know. You just picture me what?
I was just picturing you in that scene in Apocalypse Now. So that's what I was doing.
I hope
for
that you're picturing me like the day that I was dressed like Garth.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, here's a review from Science Dog 83, and unfortunately, he's dog with one G and not two. So,
Well, okay.
these are your goofy friends who love wrestling. Pro wrestling talk without pretension, fandom without the pretension, fandom without the elitism. Not Your Demographic is as much about Stell, which makes me think it's Bobby because they wrote Stell. But
Also makes sense. 1G, not 2.
Stella and Erin's long-lasting and genuine friendship, as it is about the weird world of wrestling. Through that lens, they talk about. I don't have my glasses on. Through that lens,
They're right there. Just put them on.
I will. Just give me 1 second. Gotta wear my glasses when you're reading. Through that lens, they talk about all levels and promotions in their own unique, honest, and tangential, point of view. These aren't some abrasive, annoyed know-it-alls who just want to prove their knowledge. These are your goofy friends who love wrestling. I feel like we're kind of abrasive know-it-alls too, but we also are goofy. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And love tangents. If this person is not Bobby and you're somebody else and you just happen to call me Stell, cool. Thank you for the review.
Yeah. And if you were Bobby, also thank you.
Oh, yeah. Also,
if you were Bobby, fuck you.
This is from Bobby. Fucking delete it. Just kidding. You did a great job. You are excellent. Okay, well, that's it. You can find us on the internet. I'm at Stella_Cheeks.
I'm at EarnGency.
You can find us at notyourdemographic.tumblr.com.
You can send us an email with some questions, since we're out of questions, at notyourdemo@gmail.com.
You can find us on iTunes, where you should rate, review, and subscribe.
You can also find us on Cage Side Seats, where you should check out all of the other stuff that's on there, because they're dope.
Yeah.
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 Is that it?
Yes.
Okay. Peace, you jabronis.
FABULOUS. Yes. Diamonds on my neck. Yes, I'm fabulous. They keep hating on me. I don't stress. Don't got time for this. 'Cause I'm fabulous. Capiche?
It's all happening.
Yeah. All happening.
Yeah.
Oh, we can hear it. Feedback loop. Whoa. Wow.
At Safeway, it's our anniversary. But the savings are yours with amazing deals down every aisle on family favorites. This week, stay hydrated and pick up an 8-pack Gatorade and enjoy an afternoon pick-me-up with 4-pack Starbucks Frappuccinos for only $3.99 each when you buy 3. Plus, save over $154 in coupon savings from this week's ad. There's no better time to shop. Safeway, it's just better.